I just love springtime, my favorite part of the year. On second thought, today seems like a good day to work inside. Took naps and practiced music and everything I possibly could to avoid getting out of the apartment today, but I have finally become desperate. I need some tasty drinks. This is what it looks like out there. It's like a Christmas apocalypse. Crispocalypse. I think maybe I need to buy some boots. I've only got Crocs. But here I go, so wish me luck. Barely survived that trip. Crocs were full of snow by the time I got home. But now it's time to bask in the glory of a hard-earned tasty drink. So I got some guitar hanger thingies, and I'd like to put them up on the wall to maybe make this look a little less boring and plain, like the rugs that they actually are. I've got way too many guitars around, just sitting around in places in a tiny little apartment that we've got here. So Pei-Shen is constantly having to like step around the guitars and try not to sit on the guitars whenever they're on the bed or they're on the couch or whatever. So I'm gonna stick them on the wall instead. A nice opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about my studio here. This is just a room in an apartment, you know. Let me spin this around so you can see a little bit. I don't know if you guys ever notice how much nicer the sound quality is anytime we step in this room with the, with my camera here. The reason is because this room is covered in rugs. These are actually rugs on my wall. Pretty thick, fluffy things, actually. The reason I did this is because I live in an apartment, right, in New York. So there's a lot of sound coming in from outside, and there's a lot of sound going out to other places if I play music in here. And I sing kind of loud, so the foam sound isolator thingies are not really that great. They don't really do much for me. They don't really affect it all that much. And you can spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on those things, and they just kind of like meh. I mean, maybe if you spend like crap loads of money, they'll make a big difference. But for the bang for your buck is not really, because I'm renting. I couldn't really do anything permanent to these walls. So the way these rugs are up, I didn't just go and put a whole bunch of holes in the wall. I actually put a frame of 2x4s up on the walls first, and then put the rugs, screwed them into the 2x4s. I'll show you. So back here, there's a 2x4 going up, about like one here, one over in that corner, and one over in the other corner over there. And those only have 2 screws going into the actual drywall and then into the studs behind it. And here, this 2x4, which goes the length of the room, this is screwed into the 2x4 on the back and not into the drywall. So there's literally about 6 holes in this wall, and they're all, only the size of a small screw. That does an incredible job of sound isolation. Like, I don't hear anybody else in the building, and nobody else hears me, I don't think. But also, the beautiful part is it deadens the sound in this room. So I used to use one of these things all the time because it was because when I would sing in a room that doesn't have sound treatment in it, it would get really echoey and stuff, and I couldn't use that in my recordings because it would just sound bad. But now, because I've got the rugs on the walls, this is irrelevant. I don't need this. So that's why I can have my microphones just sitting there in the middle of the room and not worry about having reflections of sound going all over the place and making it sound like crap. So I'm gonna take this 2x4 and put it up there on the wall, and then put my guitar thingies on that 2x4. So let's see how this works. These are the screws that came with the guitar hangers. I think I'm gonna use my own though. Mine are cooler and slightly manlier. Ha! Not bad. Beginning to look like a guitar store in here. That last one over there is actually Pei-Shen's instrument. They call it a pipa. So I had a thought that I figured I'd like to share with you guys. Something that definitely affects me on a daily basis, and something that may be kind of relevant to you. The thought was about finishing things, or kind of more specifically accomplishing something. And what I realized is that a feeling of accomplishment for me really changes my outlook on a day and really changes my feelings about how that day went, you know, when I look back on it. As a result of it changing those things and my feelings about success in a day, the rest of my day becomes much more successful or even becomes much more productive. This is something I learned from working out, actually. It had nothing to do with music, really. When I was 19, I weighed 300 pounds, and by the time I was 24, I weighed 180. And then over the last few years, I've gained a whole bunch of that back. I had a few injuries for a few years in a row, actually. There was a period of about a year where I had a very difficult time walking, even around the house. Just walking to the bathroom would hurt. And this stopped me from working out. And I could feel the mental edge wearing away, kind of eroding. And it was a sad feeling when it happened. And now I'm trying to go back down again. I'm kind of back on a good path that's going to take me to losing a bunch more weight. But I guess that's all just to say that I have a history of battling weight problems. And I have a history of working out kind of excessively, working out a lot. During those times of my life when I work out regularly, and it's strenuous, it's hard for me, something that I have to kind of fight to be able to do. That's what I wanted to talk with you about, is setting a difficult task for yourself, or maybe not even a super difficult task, but something that takes energy, something that takes a part of you, concentrated and effort to accomplish, and then actually seeing it through to the end. That feeling that I get afterwards is just changes my life every day. It changes how I perceive the world. It changes how I perceive myself as a successful or unsuccessful individual, and therefore it changes my reactions to the world around me, because I feel like a successful person because I did something that was hard the first thing in the day. That's why I always like to work out first thing in the day. Whatever time I wake up, the first thing I want to do is get my workout done, because the effort and pain and mental strength and clarity it requires to push yourself physically to do something, it takes you to a slightly higher level of living in the moment, being aware of a difficult task right now kind of thing. And then every workout that I do, somewhere in the middle of the workout, my brain, there's this little voice in the back of my head that says, why don't you just stop now? This is painful, you're tired, you want to go do something else. Nobody's going to really know if you just stopped right now. And somehow, more often than not, I don't follow the advice of that sneaky little voice just telling me, it's okay, you can just stop now, you can just not finish. The reason it's so important for me to finish that workout to its fullest, to the best of my ability at the time, is because if I took even 3 or 4 minutes off the full workout, or 2 minutes from the end, if I stopped, then the rest of the day, that little voice in the back of my head is going to be going, oh, you didn't finish that, did you? You aren't quite strong enough for that, were you? And that's an acidic, sneaky little thought in the back of my head. You weren't quite strong enough to do that today, were you? And then I feel just a little bit of disappointment in myself if I don't finish my workout. But if I do finish my workout, then I get a feeling of strength and power for the rest of the day, just because I accomplished something that was difficult for me, something that was uncomfortable, something I didn't want to do, but I feel good about having done that thing. You know, in the military, they talk about this quite a bit, actually. That's why they all make their beds so perfectly in the military, because they have a feeling of accomplishment afterwards. I don't really get a feeling of accomplishment from making my bed, but what I get a feeling of accomplishment from is something that's difficult for me, something that's hard for me, something that takes physical, mental, emotional effort to push through. And then the rest of my day is just set up for success. All of the other challenges of my day become a little bit easier because I have this feeling of confidence, this feeling of success already built in the morning right after I wake up. It's like a sneaky secret to making all the different challenges in my life just a bit easier. So yeah, I know I'm a much more successful person every day that I work out and accomplish that workout and finish it to the end. And I don't know for you or for other people what that thing could be, what you could set up for yourself, that in the morning you would have this difficult task that gives you a feeling of accomplishment and strength once you finish it. Maybe it's workout for you, maybe it's something else, I don't know. But I think that feeling is so important, for me at least. Really makes me a more effective person on a daily basis. So, finish something. I have now finished this vlog for you guys. I'll edit it, well, haven't quite finished. I'll edit it and upload it and then I'll have finished it. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye.